Hello, I'm Liam Jenkins and welcome to highlights of the 2011 Formula SimRacing World Championship. Round 4 of the championship takes place in Turkey at Istanbul Park. Designed by Herman Tilke, the circuit features some very distinctive corners, such as the sharp downhill opening corner and the famous Turn 8, a fast sweeping corner with 4 apexes. Qualifying saw precision driver Jaakko Mykkänen take his first pole position since 2009. Then it was the two twister drivers of Saki Kaskas and Fredrik Nilsson, just ahead of Mikko Puumalainen in 4th and Bruno Marquez in 5th. Lucas Euler achieved a great result to put his Ghost Speed car into 6th place, ahead of David Greco and Dennis Hurl. Alain Fort made it into 9th place, and Bono Cuisse would start in 10th after a mistake on his qualifying lap. The GT Omega Racing team qualified in 11th and 13th, and Faster Than Speed would start in 15th and 17th. A notable absence from the top 10 was the rF1 team, with Jon-Erik Saxon only managing 14th. To the race start, and with a clean launch off the line, Mykkänen immediately moved over to defend his position. Euler made contact with Marquez and span off the circuit, while the rest of the field cleanly made it through the opening corner. A mistake from Tali caused some contact in the midfield, dropping the Estonian to the back of the pack. Patrick de Wit made another impressive start, getting up to 11th place. Having passed Fort already, Cuisse made a move on Hurl to move up into 7th position. And in the midfield, René Rum was given a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. Bruno Marquez then lost 2 positions in 1 lap, losing out to his old teammate David Greco and then to Cuisse, who made an outside pass into turn 1. In 12th place, Blair Disley was desperately searching for a way around de Wit, but a mistake saw the Too Fast For You car lose out to both of the rF1 drivers. At the back of the pack, Ernesto De Angelis was wedged in a Ghost Speed sandwich, and the recovering Euler made an aggressive pass for 17th place, damaging De Angelis' car in the process. In the lead, Mykkänen could not create a gap back to Kirchhoff, and eventually the twister driver got close enough to pass into the final hairpin. However, Mykkänen came right back at Kirchhoff, pulling off an impressive overtake to retake the lead. Fredrik Nilsson then came into the attack, getting alongside Kirchhoff down the back straight, but contact was made between the two twister drivers, resulting in some damage to Kirchhoff's car. Cuisse continued his charge, passing Puumalainen for 4th, who put up very little of a fight. Meanwhile, there was plenty of action in the midfield. Jack Heathley managed to pass Alain Fort for 10th place, having been stuck behind the ATR car for several laps. After a bad start, Rasmus Tali was slowly but surely carving his way up through the field, now up into 11th place. In the battle for 15th, René Rum's race ended prematurely when a collision between himself and Ben Phillips resulted in him stalling his engine. Back at the front, a mistake from David Greco gave his 6th position back to Marquez, and a few laps later, Saki Kaskas, driving a slightly damaged car, pushed his twister machine too hard through turn 8, spinning the car and being lucky to keep his engine going. He rejoined the track in 7th place, losing any hope of a podium finish. However, his teammate Fredrik Nilsson pounced on a mistake by race leader Jaakko Mykkänen, passing him down the back straight for the lead. But once again, Mykkänen came at the twister car into turn 1, and the two drivers made contact, with Nilsson losing out. Cuisse was now immediately behind Nilsson, and the Dutch champion made an impressive overtake into turn 4, giving precision the top 2 positions. Not surprisingly, it didn't take long for Cuisse to get within striking range, and although he couldn't make his passing attempt stick the first time, he slipped by Mykkänen at the end of the back straight to take over the lead. In 10th place, Jack Heathley, Rasmus Tali and Jon-Erik Saxon were frantically fighting over the final points paying position. Tali and Heathley swapped positions several times, with neither driver able to break free. Although Tali appeared to be slightly quicker, Heathley continuously came back at the Mack Corp racing driver to maintain his position. In 4th place, Mikko Puumalainen was slowly being reeled in by Bruno Marquez. Marquez was the first of the two to pit, and with cold tyres, Puumalainen was caught out on his start lap and passed through the final 3 turns. Meanwhile, Greco's race ended on lap 34 with his Too Fast For You car suffering an electrical fault, and teammate Blair Disley's 2-stop strategy had clearly not worked, with the Australian only in 7th position and another stop still to make. The second stint saw Cuisse storm away with the lead. 2nd place Jaakko Mykkänen was being kept honest by Nilsson in 3rd, and not far behind, Marquez and Puumalainen followed in 4th and 5th. Saki Kaskas effectively leapfrogged Dennis Hurl for 6th position. Patrick de Wit was eventually caught and passed by Rasmus Tali, and then immediately by Jon-Erik Saxon. De Wit continued to fight for 9th position with Saxon, but eventually the rF1 car prevailed, dropping de Wit into 10th. Further behind, Jim Paresis had benefited from Ben Phillips and Alafort's two-stop strategies, but the Go Speed driver crashed out in the final corner with just 2 laps to go. After his second stop, Blair Disley caught and passed Jack Keithley for 11th, and on the second lap, Disley made an attack on de Wit at the end of the back straight. The two cars made hard contact and both drivers did well to maintain control, with Disley coming out on top. But a determined de Wit managed to slip back past Disley through turn 3 and retake the position. Making it 4 from 4, an unstoppable Bono Huis came from 10th on the grid to take his 13th career victory. Jaakko Mikkonen held off Fredrik Nilsson to finish in 2nd place, making it another precision 1-2. Bruno Marquez crossed the line in 4th ahead of Mikko Pymäläinen and Atse Kirchhoff. Further behind, Dennis Hurl finished in 7th, completing a decent points haul for the NetRex Grand Prix team. And Rasmus Tali's storm from the back of the grid placed him in an impressive 8th place. Saxon finished in 9th place after a difficult race, and a delighted Patrick de Wit picked up his first point of the season for the Faster Than Speed team. So after 4 rounds, Bono Huis is already at the 100 point mark, taking the maximum possible score so far. Mikkonen has moved ahead of Greco into 2nd, who now has Pymäläinen just 5 points behind him. Nilsson has moved up into 5th place, and Tali remains in 6th position, just 1 point ahead of Saxon. In the Constructors' Championship, Precision's dominance has continued with the German outfit nearly 100 points ahead of 2nd place. Matt Corp remained in 2nd place, but Twister Racing have moved up into 3rd after scoring a good result. Too Fast V failed to score at Turkey, and Aero F1 only picked up 2 points. With both NetRex cars finishing inside the top 10 today, the team has jumped up to 6th position. The next round will be the rerunning of the Malaysian Grand Prix, and you can watch this race live as it happens. Simply go to www.psrtv.com on the 22nd of May at 5:30 PM GMT. We hope you enjoyed today's highlights. I'm Liam Jenkins, and we'll see you next week for round 5 of the 2011 Formula SimRacing World Championship.